would love to just talk a little bit about Jalen's kind of free agency process and what that all was like from the owner's side, and Jalen, what that was like from the player's side.
I'll let Mark go first because
no, I'll let you go first.
No, I'll let Mark go first.
No. You're the host. I'm just a guest. I get to pick.
This football season, Fanatics Sportsbook is where fans play on game day. So Fanatics Sportsbook is counting down to kick off with the $5 million jersey drop. Jerseys are dropping every single day. Just log in daily for your chance to win. It's time to suit up for season opener. This is Fanatics Sportsbook, the most rewarding sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777. Massachusetts, call 800-327-5050. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Maryland, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Please play responsibly.
So what's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Roommates presented by Fanatics Sportsbook, a Playmaker original. You know the vibes are always immaculate. I'm with Matt and JB, and obviously I am Jay Hart, and we have an amazing guest. I knew I was gonna mess up. Yeah, I knew it. The last time was amazing, but we good because we have a prolific businessman, investor, TV personality on the Emmy Award-winning Shark Tank. The owner of the Dallas Mavericks for over 25 years. And I think it's actually our first NBA champion we've had on the pod?
Dante.
Oh, yeah.
Dante.
So
First non-player.
First non-player. Yeah, the one that helped JB get on his feet in the NBA. So welcome to our friend Mark Cuban. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be a treat.
Thanks for having me, guys. This is going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it.
I just want to get into it right up. Mark, why did you guys draft JB?
Oh Lord,
this like the little fat-headed kid from Villanova with good, I'll
tell you the whole war room story, man. It was great. So we picked Luka, traded up to get Luka, and we get to 31. And there's all the scouts that were like, JB. He's a winner, yada, yada. A little bit chubby, not quite as fast, not super athletic. He's a winner. He's a champion, and you can't put a value on that. That's our guy. And then we had Yogi Ferrell, who was from Indiana, right? And Yogi had just come in and tore it up. So there was a faction in the room that also was like, no, man, if we draft JB, what are we going to do with Yogi? Well, we went back and forth, and the scouts won, and the decision was made to draft JB. And then Yogi took a deal with the Sacramento Kings. We'd actually offered to bring him back anyways, because as a rookie, you just never know what's going to turn out. Mm-hmm. But so the rest is history.
The best part about that story is none of us were in the war room, and none of us would have known if Mark had just left out Chubby. But
or throwing it in there, right?
Oh my God. Dallas was my first you're at, what's it called? It's in Chicago. Why am I blanking? You're at the Combine. And Dallas was my first meeting. You know how you go through all the meetings of the different teams, right? So then my first meeting, and it was Coach Carlisle in there, everybody, and it was DK. So DK's kind of running, and he's asking me a question. He's like, hey, where'd you go to school? This is my first interview. Literally suited up.
I got to tell you, but DK, Don Kalkstein, is our team psychologist. So he's doing all the interviews for us.
Yeah, so he's doing an interview. And he's like, hey, so where'd you go to school? I'm thinking it's a joke. All right, these guys should know everything. If they're scouting, they should know everything basically inside and out. He's like, where'd you go to school? I'm like, you don't know about? He's like, oh, how'd you guys do this year? I'm like, we won the national championship. I'm like, is this guy joking? Is he serious? He's doing it with a straight face, like I'm like the straightest face. He's like, oh, like so, like what was your role in the team? How'd you do? I was like, I mean, I did pretty well. And then like Michael Finley was like, DK, he won National Player of the Year, and he's like, oh, so you were pretty good. I'm like, yeah, I'm like pretty good. So I like this is like a total like mind fuck, and I'm like, but like every other interview after that was like good, but it wasn't like that. But at first, I'm just like, this is gonna be hell. It's gonna be hell.
That's DK, right? So you know that's what he's about, right? He wants to test what's inside of you. Everybody knows the facts, right? It's how you deal with questions you don't expect and all that kind of stuff, right? And he's a good dude, man. So he wasn't setting you up. That's a job to try to figure out what somebody's like, to find out what's inside.
Yeah, he was. I mean, we still have a great relationship to this guy. Like he's
a great guy.
That dude's he's unbelievable. But yeah, that being my first like interview, I'm like, I was like, what the hell? I was like, there's no way in hell they're actually gonna want me. And then like I didn't have a pre-draft workout with them.
Nope.
And all of a sudden, the day of the draft, my dad's like, 33rd to Dallas. I'm like, this is like in the morning. Like first, like I'm like, okay, like he's just like talking just as he usually does. And when it happened, like I was just like, this is like a mind. I just did all those damn workouts to not get drafted by any of those teams, just to go to this team. But I mean, it was that whole process was a lot. But I was happy where I ended up for sure.
Yeah.
JB, how many workouts did you do?
I think 9 or 10.
Okay.
I did 9 or 10, but like the 9, it was like workout. Fly to the next city, workout, fly to the next city. It wasn't like spaced out where it could have been. It was just all like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, right back to back.
And I had one workout. It was like back to back, like Denver, Utah, and that was the first time I ever did, like, was in like the whole back to back thing. Man, I was cooked. I didn't get any promises.
No promise. I'm surprised because when kids come through, or at least their agents or something, oh yeah, we got a promise at this pick, so you got to trade up, or they're everybody's telling us they're going to draft us in this. So I'm surprised. Usually everybody's got something lined up.
I had no idea what I was doing. Actually, Indiana had a late first round pick, and I remember my Indiana workout, and I feel like I shot the ball like incredibly well. Like it just felt like perfect. Like I felt like everything went perfect. I was like, all right, maybe I'll go there. And then but yeah, no promises, no nothing. And yeah.
Dang.
Did you work out for Dallas, Josh?
No, they only had the 9th pick. I don't think I was in those conversations. You know what I mean? So yeah. I like Dallas. I love that. I actually hate playing in Dallas, but I love Dallas.
Why do you hate playing in Dallas?
Because every year I am ass in Dallas. Like literally ass.
Keep that rolling,
Regardless of what team you're on?
Yeah, I think we played them in Dallas obviously once this year. It was like a close game. We were down by like 20 at one point, and I was like, I think I was like 0 for like 6 from 3, something like that. I think the year before that, I was in Portland. I don't think I actually made a field goal. I think I made like a free throw. Like, so now, like, I come to Dallas. I'm like, I love Dallas. Great vibes. I go to get a good breakfast at Sadel's.
Yeah,
I go a little shopping. Like, either eat, like, at Nobu at the hotel or something, a nice little restaurant that got a good food scene, Uchi. And then I just, so I embrace everything about Dallas, knowing that, the next day I'm going to have a terrible day. So I have to like, everything else is heightened because I'm just like, I got to just love everything about this because it's going to be so bad tomorrow.
You just tell me the restaurant, Josh, before next time you guys are in town. On me.
Nick and Sam's.
Nick and Sam's.
Nick and Sam's. With the back room, and we're ordering everything.
Yeah. Hey, JB, we're going to get the good wine list. He's gonna get the bill. He's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, he's not gonna make a shot tomorrow."
Yeah.
He's gonna see the wine. He's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, he might not play."
That'll work.
Jalen, what are your best memories in Dallas?
My best memories in Dallas, definitely that first round series, and obviously playoff, like getting to the Western Conference Finals in my 4th year. Obviously it wasn't in Dallas. The first game was in Phoenix, my rookie year. We played in Phoenix, and like I was preparing like not to play because like we had Devin Harris, we had JJ, like coming off the bench. So I'm thinking, all right, those guys, yeah, obviously Luka and like Dennis Smith starting. So I'm like, yeah, Rick obviously likes to play 2-point guards at a time, but I just don't see myself like playing like right now, like just how everything was going. I think Devin Harris like pulls like his hamstring and gets hurt, and so I get thrown out there like in the second quarter or whatever. And I'm just like you that feeling, yeah, you're going to your first game, like everything's like your first this, your first that. My first shot was an air ball, so I'm like, all right, well, it's gonna get any worse than this. And like we were down a little bit, and then we cut the lead to like maybe like one possession or whatever. I hit a 3 in the 4th quarter for my first basket, and like, I mean, obviously having your first basket in the pros is something memorable. But I mean, yeah, it was that whole first game. Like you just don't know, like you don't know where your mind's at. You're not really focused on the game. You're focused on like this is like your moment. This is your first time playing in the league that you dreamed of playing in. So that was probably one of my favorite moments, including at the playoff runs.
I wish I could tell you I remember that game, JB, and what you did.
Nope.
But that was a scary season for us, right? Because we had traded up to get Luka, and he wasn't a consensus, top 3 pick in the draft. And we had Dennis Smith from the previous year, so there was a lot of uncertainty, and it was Dirk's last year, and so just trying to figure all that out and see what we were going to be and how things were going to go moving forward. But kudos to you because you made it all work for sure.
I mean, I was doing everything in my power just to focus on what I could control, and that's all I could do. I remember like playing with Dirk and like working out before the season when I was working on like pocket passes and like throwing up like in pick and roll, pick and pop. And our coach, Jamal Mosley, who's with Orlando now, was like, yeah, whenever you throw a Dirk a pass, like throw it high. Like if you throw it low, like he's not going to get the ball. He's not going to get the ball, and he's going to look at you. He's not even going to try. I was like, oh, haha, like, okay, whatever. Pick and pop me and Dirk. I threw like a pocket bounce pass. The ball just rolls out of bounds. Like Dirk's already just running back on defense. I'm just like, this man didn't try to catch the ball. He's like, what am I going to do with that? I was like, all right. So yeah, every time now, just throw it high to the 7-footer. Not a lob. Don't throw a lob. Just throw the ball high so he can catch the ball. He's not jumping anywhere. Yeah.
That's crazy. And then Mark, at what point did you start to realize, obviously you mentioned draft day, you were a fan of Jalens, but when did you start to realize what you guys had in him?
Probably, I mean, we knew he was good and getting better, but really it wasn't until that Utah series that he really got a chance to shine and show what he was about. I mean, when he came in and, Luka was hurt, he went from being a good player to, scoring 41 JB, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And, we're thinking we're going to go down 0-2. I mean, not expecting it, but everybody's thinking we're going down 0-2. And JB comes in and just turns the playoffs around for us and comes back and fits right back in, because that's a big part of what made JB special is he knew what he needed to do at the time he needed to do it. And he knew how to fit, the rest of the time, and when you had Luka getting all the attention, Dirk at the beginning, and we just kept on getting better. And, in between all that, it was COVID. And so, you really couldn't tell how good somebody was because you had guys just coming in and out, even up to that 22-23 season, there were guys coming in and out. But once we hit the playoffs and we were playing good teams, and the Mavs hadn't got out of the first round since the championship year, that's when JB really, really showed who he could be.
I'll never forget when Mark let me go home during COVID when I had surgery and I caught COVID. He was like, yo, go home right before the bubble. I was like working out. I was like, I'm going to go to the bubble. Like, I'm not going to play anyway. Like my shoulder's messed up. But I just want to be with the team. I want to rehab, like make sure it's still in it. And then literally like a day before everyone's leaving for the bubble, he's like, You're good. just stay back there, buddy.
Catch a break. I mean, it was always something, right? You could not catch a break. I mean, whether it was COVID or your shoulder, the playoffs, but then his last season with us, it all changed.
Yeah, for sure. I have a question. So I'm not entirely sure about what actually happened, but clearly I would say you took a step back this season, right?
Which season?
This season, you personally, like.
Oh, you're talking about me? Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
the Mavs. Yes. You.
Okay, I thought we were still talking about you.
No. This is about you.
Okay.
Took a step back. Also, we saw that you were in your final season of Shark Tank. So I just want to know, how is this process of like moving away from all this stuff? Like, what's going on? Like, what direction are we heading in?
So really straightforward. Like on Shark Tank, we always shoot in June and September. And when my kids were younger, it was no big deal, because when I was done shooting, it was like, okay, family vacation is this, we're going here, we're going there. But when those kids become teenagers, they dictate, right? And so I wanted my summers to be available. And I had done the show, I've got one more pod to shoot, and this is my 15th year. It's not like I didn't have a good run, right? And so just being able now to, set my own summer, and where my kids want to go, when they want to go, before they're all completely out of the house. My youngest is 14. You met them when we came out to visit in Villanova. And so my middle daughter's about to turn 18, and my oldest is about to turn 21. So just being able to create time for the entire family, it was time to change my schedule. And so, I had a great run. I think the show's going to continue to do great, but it was time for me to move on. And in terms of the Mavs, kind of along the same thing, where I'm 66 now, right? I know I look 26, but I'm 66 now. Been owning this team for 24 years, going on 25 years. And it's like, am I going to put the pressure on them at, about to turn 15, about to turn 18, 21, when I'm 75, to all of a sudden, okay, it's your turn? What if they don't want it to be their turn? What if that's not what they want to be when, after school, or when they grow up, or whatever, right? That's a lot of pressure to put on somebody. And so it was like, I just don't want to do that, because you guys know what it's like, right? It's one thing when you're winning. You're on the road to the finals, you're in the playoffs, everybody's happy, the city's on fire. But, I saw what it was like the year before when we struggled, right? And the hell that comes your way. I don't want my kids to go through that, particularly when they're young and trying to figure out who they are as people. And, 10 years from now, my son's going to be 25, so to be 25, 28, and 31. I don't want to put that pressure on them. And so that was one big part of it, and probably the most important part. And then the second part of it is, even with all the new CBA stuff, just to be able to compete, there's going to be a time you got to go into that second apron, et cetera, et cetera. And really financially, it's not like I couldn't write the checks, but to get with the big boys, you got to be able to develop real estate. And that's just not my thing, right? So if you look at Golden State, what they do with Chase, if you look what most teams are doing now, basketball is just that much of the bigger picture. And so you've got to be able to do it. If it was like my 24 years, it was technology, it was entertainment, it was just trying to, change things to, as an entrepreneur. That game is completely changing. Now it's private equity companies, et cetera, et cetera. And so it was just time. But it's not like I'm out, right? I still got 27% of the team, which is, more than more than a third of the other owners that are out there. So I'm still all in, still involved in basketball, that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mark, I'm curious to see, obviously, because you're on the business side of it, the new CBA and the second apron. How much do you think that's going to affect these teams going forward? Because and then two, I'm still trying to figure out how the hell Boston is getting all this money. So if you could shed some light on that, because I don't know how the hell everybody over there getting paid. I'm happy they are, but
Well, I hear you. It's like you can still pay somebody and take it wherever you want to take it, right? You just got to pay that luxury tax. And, after you're past the second apron 1 year, I think they freeze your first round pick. If you're past the apron a second year, then they move it to the last pick of the draft. And then on top of that, you can't make sign and trades and all this other stuff, right? So they did all those deals before a lot of these things kicked in, knowing when those deals are paying all those guys all that money, it's going to be expensive. It's going to be really, really expensive. But you know what? If you're going to win, then it's worth it. And they beat us. They got that trophy, and what's that worth?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But Josh, they did all those deals, and then the guy said he was selling the team.
Whoever got this next, they got to deal with it.
I'm not saying anything on that part of it, but yeah, I mean, it changes everything. And I think the most interesting part, and we don't know yet, is when you have guys who are on their rookie contract, you have a lot of flexibility. When you have guys that were on an older max contract, you have a lot of flexibility. But once we start signing contracts into the new TV deal, not this coming year, but the following year, then it's going to be a lot harder to hold a team together when you're past that second apron. Even though the second apron goes up, it's only, and it can only go up by 10% a year. So it's going to be really tough to really pull all those pieces together and hold them together.
Okay. You think it's going to make it more competitive, or?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot more balanced. Yeah. So it's going to be like when I kept Dirk all those years, I don't think that you'll be able to do that anymore. Just because if you have a guy who's on a max contract and signed into his later 30s, and you want to, you have a rookie who's really, really good, and you got to put them on the max, or another, somebody else that you want to bring in on a max, you're going to be in that second apron for years. And that's, put aside expensive, it has all kinds of competitive issues as well. So I think everything's going to be a lot more balanced. I think it's going to be a lot more competitive top to bottom.
Sounds like too, the real detriments of it come when you're in it for years, but maybe a team's like, hey, we're just going to bite the bullet for 4 to 5 years, strike while the iron's hot, and just try and get a few banners,
Yeah, I don't know if they can do it for 4 or 5 years, but you've got this then kind of next year to kind of, still live with old contracts. And then it's going to get much, much harder to go into that second apron and still compete. Because, I mean, even this year, you look, teams now, if you did a sign and trade or you did some other things, you're hard capped. You can't add anybody. You guys went through that, as well. We went through it. And so that puts a lot of constraints. And so, it's going to change how teams build over a longer period of time. But you never, but I say that, you just never know. If someone comes up with a better approach that we didn't think of, and bam, they come out ahead.
Mm-hmm.
One question I have is, I know you mentioned what it takes to be an owner these days in terms of the continued investment, the experience in real estate. You mentioned why it made sense for you to pull back to a certain extent, but obviously still do basketball operations. What was the process like for you? Obviously, this is a thing that you built over the last 25 years. What was the process for you to find a buyer? Why did I think it's the Adelson family? What about them made you excited that they could help carry the team into the future? What was that whole process like?
I mean, I've known Patrick Dumont and the Adelsons for a long time. Knew Sheldon before he passed away, and we had a great relationship. And we had been talking for years about building a resort destination casino if and when gambling, resort gaming was passed in Texas. And so we had been working together a long time. And, from their perspective, I don't want to speak too much for them, but if you're going to spend billions of dollars to build a resort destination casino, a Bellagio or Venetian in the middle of Dallas, you're going to want to own more of the team than just a few percentage points. And that played into it from their perspective. But, they're the best in the world of what they do in building arenas and destinations. And, they don't try to be basketball people. And plus we've got, it helped a lot that, my trust in Nico grew and grew and grew. He's done such a great job that made that side of the decision easier as well.
What time is it? Game time.
Football season is here, which means endless NFL games for these next few months, and there's no better place to get tickets than Gametime. They make getting all the tickets fast and easy. Go Birds, Josh.
Man, we're not worried about those Eagles. We rocking with the Commanders over here, Captain. While it's still warm outside, you can still get into concert mode. Gametime has an amazing selection of concerts that you can score tickets for.
Gametime has a new feature called Gametime Picks that makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. Gametime Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets.
The Gametime Picks features is actually mad convenient. The GT Picks tab in each event gives me straight to the top 10% value tickets, and any tickets discounts right at the top.
What I like about the Gametime app is their killer last-minute deals, all-in pricing with no surprise fees at checkout, and your purchase is covered by the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry.
Just download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code ROOMIES for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
Again, create an account on the Gametime app and redeem code ROOMIES for $20 off your first purchase.
Again, create an account and redeem code ROOMIES for $20 off. Download Gametime today. What time is it? Gametime.
What are your thoughts on your moves this offseason? Like adding the guys that you added?
Well, you guys know Quentin, right? You tell me.
I don't know who that is at all, actually. No idea. Quentin's a great guy, first and foremost. I enjoyed him as a teammate, and he was always in the gym. He always worked hard. I have nothing but nice things to say about him. And obviously, he can spread the floor, and I feel like he does exactly what your team needs. Like, he has the quickest release I've ever not I've ever seen, but he definitely has a quick release.
Yeah.
And whenever Luka drives and does his little behind the head passes that no one ever sees coming, I mean he's able to knock that down. But he's a great addition, and he can defend. He's tough, and the things.
And that was the key, right? That he could shoot, he could put the ball on the floor some, he can get a shot off, and he can defend. And we wanted to keep Derek Jones, but as you know better than anybody, sometimes that doesn't always work out.
Yeah, sometimes things just happen.
It just happens for whatever reason, right? But and losing DJ, we wanted keep that defensive mindset, but we also wanted somebody that was going to be able to make a three, because Luka's always going to get you an open look. Kyrie's going to get you an open look or score on their own, and then we wanted a team that could defend. And we also had Derek Lively, who just was a revelation this past year. But if you look back in the finals, there were times when we couldn't score. And we really wanted, and it was more just hitting open threes than anything else. And then obviously the big addition was Klay. Just somebody who you have to face guard, who's going to, make 40%. And we're hoping, at Golden State, he had to always be on the move. They had that motion offense where he was always coming off screens and running. We don't do that, right? Or not nearly as much. I'm sure we'll run some of that action for him, but just standing in the corner and, standing in the, in the wings and just catch and shoot from Luke and Kai, hopefully his life's going to be a lot easier. So we'll be able to defend, make shots, and have a lot of depth, and let Derek Lively just keep on growing and getting Gaff and, PJ also, we got more size, got better defensively. So, if we can make shots like any team, but if we can make shots and keep on defending, the West is a beast. OKC got a lot better. I wish you guys would have had some money to keep, Hartenstein. But, I think, we got better, but so did the entire West.
That's the one thing. I remember, Josh, we talked about that, about how, we had Isaiah, but, we can only offer him a certain amount. But any other team can offer whatever they wanted. What was the conversation we had?
Yeah, it was we were hard capped over being able to offer him that 4 for 72. It was a couple episodes ago. It was the same thing with Bogdanovich and Sack, where he could only get 50 whatever million that he's able to go and get 80 or 90. So we talked about it. It makes no sense. But
no, that's the way it's structured right now, though. You're going to see that a lot more. Right? You've got to make those choices on where you spend your money. It's hard. But, some teams, they just find an IU dude to try to top it off, and you got to give them the money.
We were saying it decentivizes you a little bit from finding that diamond in the rough and developing them, because it's
the exact opposite, actually, because the thing about it is, like, if you look at Phoenix, they're in a position where they almost have to re-sign their own guys, right? Because even going out to get a minimum guy can be hard when you're second level, second cap, hard capped, right? And so you're going to see more teams just hold on, go get that second round pick or trade for a second round pick, because now you can sign a dude for 4 years and guarantee that money from the second round pick and keep them. And so even if you're past the second threshold, the second apron, you've got dudes you can keep on the roster.
Interesting. But that's from a draft perspective or just in general?
Just to fill out your roster,
just in general.
right?
Huh.
Yeah.
But I guess we were saying, like, Isaiah kind of became what he was in New York. It was a lot of the obviously hard work that he put in, but like he developed within the system. And then at the end of the road, the Knicks are not rewarded by that. They're, I guess, punished.
I've had that happen too, and it's just the way it works sometimes in the NBA.
It's also kind of how I think, I could be mistaken, but I think it's how you guys got Dante, right? Is that same sort of contract loophole?
Because Golden State couldn't pay him.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Is it not bird rights? What's it called?
Yeah, bird rights. They only had 1 year.
Is it bird rights?
Yeah. They didn't have mini bird. When you have them for 2 years, you have one option, and then 3 years, you've got the full Monty to sign them.
It's the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah. If that rule wasn't there, we would have had y'all life a little bit easier. We would have kept Zay out the West.
We were hoping you would keep him, right? We would hope to take a little less.
Yeah, we all were hoping,
No doubt.
But I guess not everybody's like Jalen, taking 113 less.
All right. This is now 3 episodes in a row. We're going to continue to talk about this.
Because you're our captain, bro.
No,
we got to show the love to New York.
No, you don't. just stop talking. Oh man,
Mark, what would you have said if you had looked into a crystal ball and saw that Jalen Brunson was second team All NBA, arguably should have been first, and just doing what he's doing now?
I would have been not surprised. I tell you, the one thing that changed in JB's game that I think put him over the top. When we had him, it was drive left, underhanded layup, fall on the ground.
I still have that.
Not much though, right? You didn't have that get to my spot at the elbow and hit that pull up, right? That was not, you had some of that, but that wasn't your go-to game, which it is now. That is your game now. I remember telling you, man, if you fall down, they're not going to give you the foul, even if you get punched in the head. And, but that's where your game changed, and you deserve all the credit for making that change.
I think that my philosophy when I was in Dallas, we had a lot of guys who shot a lot of threes, and sometimes bad threes. So I'm thinking, like, if I come down, if I shoot a three, whether it's a good or bad one that doesn't go in, I just feel like it's taken upon differently if I shot it. So I was like, you know what? Let me get to the paint. Let me give the team a different look. All right. If I'm open, obviously I'm going to shoot it. But like, I just like kind of Mark said, I kind of knew my role, and I kind of wanted to make sure that like I wasn't like.
But we wanted you to shoot more threes.
Yeah, yeah, but sometimes I've always played the game like inside out. If I'm not comfortable, if I say like my first shot's a three and it's not open, I miss it. My mind's like, all right, stay away from the 3-point line. And obviously, I've gotten over that as I've gotten older, but like it was always something that like I've always was taught to play the game inside out, which I still kind of do, but it's changed a little bit now. But yeah, my mindset was just weird back then. I don't know. It was just you grew up eventually.
Yeah. That part of growing, right?
Yeah.
Every player goes, look at Josh, man. Your game today was not your game back then. And Josh is great, right? Because Josh, whenever we played you guys in Portland or whatever, I'd be walking across the court. Josh would always find his way to me and kind of like give me that look like, hey, I'm a free agent without saying it.
He's always angling.
Yeah, always gonna angle. Just looking, hey, I'm here. I love Dallas.
I know. I was paying attention.
Josh doesn't like the microphone on the rims though whenever he shoots.
I damn
That
sure
was my
don't.
idea. Now everybody does it. That was mine.
That joint was bad because like that was like one of the worst things because it's like if you make your first shot and you hear that, it's like, oh, I bet. If you hear that, doom, it's like, oh hell, like it's the worst thing, especially someone like me. I hear that, doom. The next one, doom. You know what? It might. It's not my day. I'm about to just put my hand up for a sub.
And there's literally a dude there. It's not like the rims are mic'd themselves. There's literally a dude with, like a joy box type thing, and he just clank or swish or whatever, right? He just stands there, bam, bam, bam. He's got it down to a science now.
Oh wait, so if someone presses the sound, is it a microphone or isn't it?
Yeah, it's a mic into our system, right? It put out on our speakers,
Right.
but the rims themselves are not mic. We just say they're mic because that's what it sounds like.
Wow, I did not know that.
I don't
Wow.
know that either.
So I remember
That's the
what.
whole thing, right? So think about it. No matter where you hit, no matter where the ball hits on the rim, right? It sounds the same. You could put a mic all the way around there and have it sound the same.
This part of the episode is brought to you guys by Fanatics Sportsbook. So, Mark, just continuing on some of the Mavs memories, would love to hear your thoughts on the 06 finals loss versus the Heat, and then what the difference maker was in 2011.
Yeah, that was brutal in 06. I've been around for 5-6 years, and we had gone to the Western Conference Finals before and lost to the Spurs. Steve Kerr, of all people, just destroyed us. And then 2006, we get to the finals. And it was interesting because we beat the Spurs, and then we beat Steve Nash and the Suns. And then we get to the finals, we win 2 at home convincingly. We get down to Miami, and we're up like 14 in the third quarter. And JB knows, like, I sit behind our bench when on the road, so I was sitting behind the bench. And I'll never forget, I remember standing up thinking to myself, shit, we've got a chance to sweep these dudes. We're up 14 in the third. And boom, Udonis Haslem steals, breakaway. Then they've got the ball. Shaq's got it on the block. Shaq's got it on the block. He just levels Eric Dampier, pushes them out of the way, and hits 2 free throws. I'm like, oh my God, I just cursed us. Shaq just hit 2 free throws when he's shooting like 40-some%. And then Dwayne Wade starts driving to the hoop. Every little touch, 2 shots. He literally multiple games shot more free throws than our entire team. And that was it, man. And it was painful. And, I never got fined for it but they did officiating in terms of picking the finals refs. They did it a lot differently back then. It was a lot of just who had the most seniority, and that didn't mean they were the best refs. And, it was not a good series for us officiating wise, but it's what it is. I can't believe it's been this long since then. Almost 20 years. That's crazy.
That is crazy to actually say out loud.
I would say, speaking of refs and seniority, this is probably going to get cut, but one of the players on this podcast got a technical for telling a ref, that's why you're not reffing in the playoffs.
Which one was it?
Who did I say that to?
I said it to Josh, and Josh conveyed the message on the court.
Yeah, I did do that. It wasn't one of my brighter moments, But my apologies to her. You know what I mean?
Oh, no.
Yeah, this is definitely getting cut now. This is absolutely getting cut now.
We'll cut it. And then another question is, obviously we talked a little bit about this, but with the new CBA, Mark, do you think that the NBA is too competitive for dynasties to emerge? Are we done with the days of a team being able to get 3 or 4 championships in a decade?
Not yet, just because the Celtics were still able to sign people under the previous CBA, which made a big difference. But I think going forward, it's going to be a lot harder for the reasons I mentioned before. Just when you get to that, even past the first apron, there's limits and trades you can make and how much money you can take back, and signing guys who are waived, how much money they make, so you can't sign waived expensive players. And you get past the second apron, and it's even tougher. And so before, you could always figure out, finagle a team together by making trades, taking back money, whatever it may be. That's going to be nearly impossible going forward.
Damn.
But I'll tell you one thing that it's going to be really good for, if I'm doing my math right, that I don't think players really realize yet, because the TV money goes up more than the cap can go up. You know how you guys get escrow money taken out? Mm-hmm. That's not really going to happen anymore. So that'll be good for you guys. With your deal, right? So that's money that's going to stay in your pocket because you guys got to get paid up to the 51%. But because not all that money is going to get paid out, it goes back to the players. And so, like, JB maybe didn't really give up any money, because if he's under the max, you can still get more money, and guys who don't make as much money will get a big chunk of that money. The max players won't, but Josh will, JB will, and the minimum players will, maybe the two-way players. So a lot of that money gets funneled back.
OG's screwed.
Yeah, so there's a benefit from not being a max, baby. Yes. Woo,
Sam already probably told him about all that math, right?
Yep.
So everybody to think that.
Oh, man. This is what I've been working for. Working for my whole life for this moment.
Josh, as soon as Josh gets that money back, he's just going to move right to your watch anyway. So
yeah.
It's
okay, though. Those are good investments. Oh, my God.
Grow up.
No. I'm looking at my stats in Dallas for my career.
How bad? Read them out loud.
Oh my God, this might be the worst shooting splits you probably ever could have. I average 7 points, 5 rebounds. I shoot 35% from the field, 22 from 3, and 62 from the free throw line.
Damn.
Damn.
I'm like, let's keep that streak going, Josh.
No, hey, Mark.
Torch us. You'll come in and torch us. That's the way it
Mark,
always works.
if you see when we're about to play y'all, you see inactive. If you see me inactive, that might be our strategy.
You'll be out there 48 minutes for sure.
I'm over here. Look, I'm like, damn. I'm like, I can at least always count on my rebounding. JB, I had 4 rebounds the last 2 games I played in Dallas.
Total?
Yeah. Well, 4 rebounds like each of those games the last 2 games.
So everything's off.
Yeah, it's just you just can't make that trip.
Yeah, I'm gonna just do everybody in here a favor except for Mark, and just just tell Tibbs, like, Tibbs, just leave me home. Or I'll just go golf. I'll come back and I'll just watch you guys.
So wait, Josh, I wanted to ask you, do you do rebounding clinics like over the summer for kids? Like, you could make a fortune. For real.
Nah, not really.
No. Josh, when it comes to instructing kids or doing anything for the public or the community, Josh is not that type of person. Josh is
not that guy, huh?
Not that guy whatsoever.
Josh would pull up and say, "Kids, do not box out. Trust me, it's overrated." That's exactly what he would say.
Yeah, it's like there's like certain things, like for that, it's like you're always taught like growing up, like box out, turn, and like I never do that. Like I just don't do that.
You're going to the ball though, right? That's different, right? Going to the ball.
Yeah, like, because there's been, like, I mean, so many times, obviously, now people know that I'm a good rebounding guard. So there would be times where, like, they'll go turn and try to box me out, and they have no idea where the ball is. And I literally just jump up, or it'll just go right past their head, and I'll just get it. So I'm just saying, I'm like, I just don't do it. I just go, like, try to see where the ball is going.
2 or 3 guys, right? And so it's not like everybody just get back like it used to.
Mm-hmm.
And so knowing how to rebound, particularly at your size, huge skill. Like, you get guys now that come in around your height, a little bit taller, and it's like, why can't you rebound, right? You're looking for guys. Literally, there was a dude, Farouk Aminu, right? Al-Aminu.
Farouk Aminu? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was like the number 1 rebounding guard, kind of like you before you, only he's a little taller. And guy was like no one had signed him, but we went after him just because he was the best guard rebounder for his size. That's a skill, man. So I'm just telling you, you don't know it yet. You're going to be 50 years old. Hi, I'm Josh Hart. I'm going to teach you how to rebound and get 10 rebounds a game.
Josh Barkley.
Josh Barkley.
Exactly. Y'all gonna see him on an instructional video.
And then you come on Shark Tank, and then you know I won't be there, you know.
Yeah, I'll be like, this DVD is backed by Mark Cuban.
One thing that I would love to talk about, JB and Mark, if you guys are both comfortable, is like, I think it's interesting because we have obviously a player's perspective and an owner's perspective here, but would love to just talk a little bit about Jalen's kind of free agency process and what that all was like from the owner's side, and Jalen, what that was like from the player's side.
I'll let Mark go first. Because
no, I'll let you go.
No, I'll let Mark go first.
No. You're the host. I'm just the guest. I get the pick.
So, me and Mark have had plenty of conversations. I don't want to say plenty. I'll say
couple,
2 to 3 maybe. So from my perspective, after we play the game, after we lose Game 5 in Western Conference Finals, I remember seeing like on Twitter, it was like Mark did a post game interview. It was with our crew or whatever, yep. And Mark was like, "Hey, like we can pay him the most money." That was like the main thing I saw from the thing. We can pay him the most money,
and that's fact. Yeah, that's a fact.
And so I saw that, and obviously you go into free agency, and you start seeing all these moves and that the Knicks are making and all this stuff. And then obviously my dad going to the Knicks. And so there's an assistant coach. So then I'm like, all right, that's interesting. Like that's something that like is very unique, and like I just don't know like how could I live with myself if I didn't like at least explore that option. That's one. Okay. And so we go into free agency, right? And then I have a meeting with the Knicks, and then after the Knicks is a scheduled meeting with the Mavs, right? Is everything I'm saying factual so far, Mark?
Kind of, sort of, except for the meeting part wasn't quite the way it was set up, right? Because they wanted us to come to New York, and we were like, okay, but what are we going to discuss? We need to have some reference on what we're going to be talking about if we come to New York.
Right.
And, you know, we're like, we want to keep them, but we're not going to just show up in New York for you just to say no. Right. And, you know, like I told you, there was a time where it was, okay, what is the number? Give us a feel. Well, can't talk to JB. He's going to a wedding. And that was pretty much the last we heard.
I was going to the wedding.
What year was this?
Oh, it was
Josh's?
No, hell no. It was Sekou's wedding. It was
our
Sekou's
lawyer,
wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sekou's wedding. So that was, like I said, from my point of view. And so once we got the number from the Knicks, right? Once we got the number from the Knicks and everything, like I said, I'm gonna keep saying this, from Jalen Brunson's point of view, I didn't hear anything else from the Mavericks, right? And it wasn't from the Mavericks. It was my agent saying to me, "Oh, like they're not giving us a number, and all that in the third." And so, yeah,
we weren't hearing back from there, right? We were like, give us a range. What's the number? We put up a number. They said too low. And then they were like, well, where do we need to be? You know, we were hoping we'd have a home court advantage, right? He'd been here, 4 years, at least give us that opportunity. And then when it came down to it and it looked like you were going to go to the Knicks, so it was like, well, really the only number that's going to make it work is a max out contract. And that was the last of it.
Yeah. So, and then I think Mark and I, like we were on separate podcasts. Like he said some stuff, I said some stuff. All right. And then we decided to actually have a conversation together, work stuff out, and then boom, here we are. So,
it is what it is. No hard feelings, behind both of us. I don't hold grudges or anything. There's no grudge to hold, right? JB and I have always gotten along, right? I don't think, and so I'm happy for him. it didn't work out the way I thought it would. I mean,
I mean, you guys made the conference finals, so I mean, I think it worked out pretty well.
Well, yeah, but you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
But honestly, like I remember we all went. Ali
You guys
was
made
in
the finals.
Utah.
Excuse me. The finals. Excuse me.
Yeah, the finals this year. Yeah, I mean, but I remember
It worked out great for both parties.
Yeah, I mean,
It worked out great.
but I literally remember we were after one of the games in Utah. The bunch of us was walking back. Ali was there, and we were talking and everything. I thought, okay, we're going to figure this out, and we'll make all this happen. And so, to me, that's that's kind of where I don't know. I thought it would work out. I honestly thought it would work out. I really, really, really did, but it didn't, and that's okay. All's well that ends well. I'm happy for you, the King of New York, and I'm happy for us. It is what it is. That's the NBA.
Yeah, the only thing that I didn't like about the whole situation was when Mark said, when the parents got involved, that's when things got messy. So that was the one thing I was like, I kind of was like, damn, that was a little jab. But
it wasn't really. No, I didn't want to go there here, right? It wasn't a jab at all. I mean, there's no reason for us to talk about any of that stuff, but it wasn't just a jab, JB, for real.
I know. I'm just saying. Well, that's when I heard that. That's what maybe I felt a little certain way, but I got over it. Obviously, that's my parents, and so.
And I apologize. I think put you in a certain way. That wasn't the intention, but it was hard to deal with. It was unique. It was a unique negotiation in a lot of different ways.
I would say it's the same negotiation that we just went through with Isaiah. I would say it's pretty similar.
In some respects, yeah. I'm sure it was. I mean, I don't know the details, but yeah, it may well be.
Yeah, but it's over and done with.
Yep.
We're here now, and that's it.
And I'm happy. Literally, I'm happy for it. I mean, like when you got married, like we still keep in touch. I'm always sending you congrats and this and that.
Yep.
So there's definitely no hard feelings at all. But it's always interesting when your dad and I walk by each other. It's just like he gives me the eye, I give him the eye, then we smile and then keep on walking, right? And so, all's well that ends well.
Yeah.
Josh and I were, to see the Mavs in the finals, to see Jalen doing what he's doing, like Josh and I were actually talking about it last night. Josh was like, can you imagine how different JB's like career would look right now if like they had got a deal done, not to say better or worse, but just different.
Right. Just different. Sure.
And it's just crazy how things work out.
Yeah.
The only thing I wondered is how did you not get any stock in CAA when you signed those deals and brought everybody in?
I'm not going to disclose any information about that. I'll keep that close to the chest.
Mark, I am kind of like segueing from that, right? Or like building off that. Obviously, JB was gone, and then you guys kind of had that void, and then you guys made that Kyrie trade.
Yep. And
what I'm kind of curious to see your thought process of that.
Jesus.
Because obviously, I know I butchered that. My bad. Because obviously, how Kyrie was being viewed at that point. He didn't have a positive,
right.
viewpoint for a lot of different people. And obviously now that's, a total one. Yeah. It's totally different. So what was your thought process of that, making that trade and that?
Yeah. Nico known him a long time. And Nico was like, he's a good dude, man. And I would talk to people around him, and every single human being that I talked to that played with him was in the same organization as him. All said he's a great dude, just misunderstood. And that if you just respect who he is, he'll respect you back. And I was like, that's easy to do. Nico was like, this is worth taking. We didn't even see it as a risk. And as you get to talk to Kyrie, and Shatalia is his stepmom and agent, you get to learn that he's just a different guy, but he's got the biggest heart ever. And if you respect that, if you respect his views, even if you disagree with them, then he's going to be able to focus on basketball. And I think that's just, what worked well and turned out well. And plus being in the New York market or even a Boston market is a different beast than Dallas, And so it was a lot easier for us to, or for him to communicate. And then, it it was tough at the beginning when he first came to us, but over the summer we spent time together. We talked on the phone and got to know each other. He talked to Nico all the time, talked to Jay Kidd all the time. He's just a good dude. I mean, the best way to describe Kyrie, you're in college and there's 5 dudes sitting in a dorm room talking, and the dudes are talking about playing poker and sport and whatever. And Kyrie wants to talk about world peace. You know, Kyrie wants to talk about disadvantaged populations and what we can do to help, which is great, right? I mean, you want friends like that and people like that in the world. And I think that's, once we got to see that side of Kai, I mean, it was really, really easy to accept him and just as for who he is. And the basketball speaks for itself, right? There was never any question there.
Mm-hmm. Were y'all nervous after you guys made a trade, and then like obviously it always takes a minute to gel. You can't. It never happens, right? Were y'all nervous at all, and now?
You're nervous after every trade. For me, right? There's no trade I've ever done where it wasn't like, oh, please, 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 because you never know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some of the deals that I've done that I thought were great deals turned out awful, and vice versa. But with Kai, he came in and Luka was hurt, and we went 3-1 when Luka was out, and then they had to try to gel, and they deferred to each other too much, and then our season was a lost season. And so it was like, okay, well, let's just take the summer, and they did. And, you know, going into camp, they learned how to play together. J Kidd is great at dealing with guys at that level of talent, and we're able to put it together.
I feel like obviously the Western Conference Finals was when like the brilliance of them two together and the backcourt was on full display. I mean, the gentleman's sweep against Minnesota, and then J Kidd coached his ass off the whole series too.
Yeah.
Like that was just poetry.
It was fun to watch for sure, because we went in as underdog in every single series.
Mm-hmm.
Even the Clippers to start, OKC, Minnesota. I mean, they're going to sweep us and this and that. The 2 guards we have aren't going to work. And, you know, not only did they work, and not only did they show that 2 guards can work together, but they made everybody else better. PJ Washington got better. Daniel Gafford, Lively, D Live got better. D Jones, they lifted everybody else's game up. And that was a special part of what they did as well.
Yeah. I'll tell you that OKC series. I mean, just watching it, just like watching like the OKC series, the Minnesota series, like obviously, like you said,
the Minnesota series was crazy.
Yeah, like
that was crazy.
But like PJ was hooping. Like the combination of Gafford and Lively was, I mean, I felt like y'all had like the second best centers, and besides us, I got to put my guys up there. But those two.
But that's what changed our season around, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were like 26 and 23, and even that was after the trade deadline, and we got to the point. J Kidd got us to the point where, okay, we're always going to have one of those 2 guys, Gaff or D Live, on the court at all times, so that we always had rim protection,
mm-hmm.
and that turned our entire season around. And there, it's tough for a team to have that, to play against that much size at the 5 when there's always somebody to block a shot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, you're going to see more teams. You guys won't be able to do this, but you're going to see more teams that are in that position, just because I think that is the trend that the teams are going to go to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I had to get that little shit.
Do you?
I was.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll even keep this part in, but I would say, Mark, one of the coldest, dopest things I might have seen, like it's probably top 5 dopest things I've seen someone do, is when obviously you guys got like the fine for like tanking or whatever, and you guys got Lively. When you guys got fined, and then you just matched the fine, you're like, hey, I'll just match it. That was one of the coldest things. That was one of the coldest things I've ever seen.
Day one, always matched. Anytime I got fined, all those, $3-4 million, whatever it is now, always matched to a charity. Because I've always wanted to turn it from the league giving me shit about something to me just tossing it right back at them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I remember there was like some type of show. It was like I don't know what it was, But then the lady was like, Mark, you can't curse on the show. He's like, you get fined. You got to pay it to whatever. He's like, all right, well, fuck it. And then they doubled
no, that
it
wasn't
again.
the NBA. That was like
It wasn't NBA. Yeah, it was like something
no.
else.
That was like I did a League of Legends thing, right? So I did this charity League of Legends thing, and we got whooped because I suck. And they were interviewing me afterwards, and they're like, it was all for charity, and they're like, well, the commissioner fined you $15,000 for cursing, and I said, so if I curse again, they'll fine me again, and I just said fuck it, right? And the whole thing went nuts.
Mark, during your time as owner, what was like your most disappointing free agency pursuit that didn't work out?
Oh, Dwight Howard, for sure, because we wanted to get this like 2012, 2013, and we wanted to get a big to be next to Dirk, right? And we had cap room finally, and because we had never had cap room since the time I'd been there, and we thought we had something worked out with him, and we actually traded down in the draft to get enough cap room, and missed on the Greek Freak on Giannis because of it. Because there were a bunch of guys in our draft room that wanted to go with Giannis. And I was like, and it was on me because I was like, look, we got Dirk. He's not 21 anymore. We need to try to get him a center by him because that's what we've always needed. And boom, it didn't happen. And Giannis is Giannis.
Damn, I didn't know about that. What happened with DeAndre then?
DeAndre was crazy, right? His agent was a guy named Dan Fagan, a good friend of mine who died in a car wreck in 2018. And he told us DeAndre's coming. And I got fined again because I went out with Chandler Parsons and some friends, and we went out drinking. And so I did an interview while I was trashed. Somebody on the media had heard about it, and they called me up, and I was at Shellbacks in Manhattan Beach. And they're like, hey, we heard you got it. And I'm like, you couldn't announce anything prior to July 7th. And I was like, yeah, I think we got him. And I realized I'd screwed up, but they went with it anyways. League hits me for like $100,000. And so I go down to Houston where DeAndre's staying, and we're supposed to just line it all up. He told us yes, said yes. And we're waiting in this hotel room, and his money guy, Steve, I forget his last name, was there saying it's going to happen. And then what's crazy that I remember, the guy who worked in this hotel in Houston, remember Belitza, the guy who played for Minnesota, 6'11" kid, Serbian, I think? His brother was like working the hotel, and we were talking to him, and we kept on waiting for DJ to show up. Never did. Call him, never did. Got his address, drove by, never answered, and that was it. You know the story from their side.
Dang.
Wow.
Just bailed on us.
But then he came back.
Damn.
Then he came back.
Yeah,
What, 4 years later? 4 years later? Yeah. 4 years later.
Yep, he did come back.
That's crazy. I did not know all that.
Oh, are these New York fan questions? Mark, these might be ruthless. We'll see.
That's okay. That's all right.
All right. Well, guys, we're going to get into some fan questions. We're going to see what we got. Knicks Muse, 5 years later. How do you feel about the Porzingis trade with the Knicks?
You got to go for it. I mean, it was unfortunate that KP got hurt a big chunk of the time, but I'm happy for him because, he's really improved his game, gotten a lot better than when we had him. But, no balls, no babies. You got to go for it sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great.
I like that saying.
Motto.
Yo,
So
that's a great quote.
Let me just tell you where that came from, right? One of my favorite sayings. So this is when I had no money. Me and a buddy went to Vegas on one of those last minute deals, got a double bed, 2 beds in a Motel 6, and we got like $40, and we go to Caesars. And it was one of these deals where like I pulled an 8 and then pulled another 8, and I had like $5 up there. And I'm like, okay, do I split them? He goes, yeah, split them, but you got to put up another 5 on each. Boom, do the same thing. And I get another 8, then a 3, then an 8, whatever. And I'm like, oh shit, it's my last money. Like, do I do it on this last 3 and double down? He goes, bro, no balls, no babies. And I do it, won it, and that's kind of been my line ever since, man. No balls, no babies. Sometimes you just got to go for it.
That's fire. That's dope.
I love it.
At Mikey Coin Snatch, ask him what was his most successful and biggest failure as an NBA executive.
Winning the Larry O'Brien obviously was the biggest. I think the biggest failure was, I don't know. I mean, luck plays such a part in the NBA, and I don't know that there's any one failure. We're probably not re-signing Steve Nash. Toss up between JB and Nashy, but Nashy, I think Nashy was one that I screwed up really bad. And I still have it. So I was in my little bunker suite at the American Airlines Center when he called me back, and we had set a number where we weren't going to pay more, and like idiots. And he called me back, and he said, "This is the number." And I wrote down on this pad that's still on my desk to this day, Mike Bibby money. And that was kind of like my reference. It was Mike Bibby money because Mike had gotten maxed out, and we were worried about Steve being injury prone, and it was just a dumbass move on my part.
Damn.
But I kept that to remind me.
So what you wrote that at that point in time is still on your desk?
Yep, still on my desk to this very minute.
That's crazy.
That is wild.
Oh, this is an amazing question, actually. SG212MSG. Who would be a better shark, Josh or Jalen?
That's a great question. I don't know Josh well enough, so I'm going with Josh. JV would be nice. JV would be nice, right? JV would like, yeah, that's a good idea, and I really appreciate it. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Wait, how much is it? Oh, okay.
Josh would be the one. Actually, that's actually a great point. Josh would be the one who's like, no.
Josh is Mr. Wonderful.
Yeah, I'm a little more unfiltered. So.
Yeah, JB's too nice.
So fun.
Yeah, we balance each other out. Someone has to be mature on this podcast.
All right, so we got what?
I'll do this first one. V Carter fan. Have you ever thought that Luka would be one of the best players in the world?
We were hoping. That's why we traded up. I mean, all our analytics guys, that draft, were like, he's number one, he's number one, he's number one. Our scouts were like, he's probably third or fourth, but he's worth going after. And so we traded up for him, got him. And again, I remember our first games back then. Remember we went to China, JP, and just being terrified. Just like, and you know how they send, when you travel overseas for NBA games, they send ambassadors. So we had Sean Marion next to me, and I think Steven Jackson next to me. I'm like, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? They're like, okay, we'll see. And JB knows. I mean, it was, you didn't know until you knew, but he was such a gamer. Once we got through that first year, it was obvious that he was able to do things that other people couldn't. And then, if he was putting in the work, he was going to get there, and he has.
Absolutely.
Speaking of that China trip, that plane, was that y'all plane or was that one the NBA sent?
No, that was an NBA trip.
Oh, okay.
That plane was so crazy.
What?
Josh, remember? So we did USA last summer, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, we're about to take the same plane just like that. Like, it's going to be fire. It's going to be fire. But we had no Wi-Fi. And remember how we got on the plane and the air didn't come on the plane?
Yeah.
Oh, but everyone was out there sweating. But that plane was so dope. That plane was dope.
I was literally, that was my second year in the league. I'm like, yo, dog, I got to try to find somehow to get to Dallas. If this is how they fly, I got to be here. JV_star97. Mark, do you miss JB being a Mav, and did you ever see him becoming captain material since leaving Dallas?
Yeah, I definitely miss him. I mean, he put us out on the court. JB's just a good dude, right? He was great in the locker room. Everybody loved him. He was fun to hang out with. Ali's great. So yeah, missing him for sure. Did I see him as captain material? I don't know. I mean, I knew he wanted his own team, but you know, he really didn't get that chance to be that guy other than a couple playoff games and so I don't know. I'd be lying if I said, yeah, for sure, I saw him as captain material.
Mm.
Is that fair, JB?
It's fair. Hey, man, it's fair. I don't think captain in the NBA. I never thought that was like something like I strive for. Like obviously I wanted to be a leader, but I never thought like I'd be named captain of a franchise. No.
Yeah, and I don't want to say he didn't have leadership skills because, I mean, you're seeing him now, but he definitely did because, no team goes without stress and drama throughout an entire season. And JB was always a cool head, wise beyond his years. And you can tell, that he was a leader of Villanova and he tried to translate that. And so, yeah, he was always a calming influence, which was great.
Even when Josh was captain his senior year, I was a leader. I was the leader.
No, you weren't.
Let's not do this.
You were like the little annoying fat-headed kid that was like that coach that coach liked and all that. And we were like, yo, we don't really like dude, but like he's good, so we'll just hang out with him.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mark, you remember like, when you were a kid and you're like the older brother and your mom's like, and you ask your mom to go somewhere and she's like, yeah, but you got to bring your little brother with you.
Sure.
That was us at Nova with JB. It was like, oh, we got to bring JB. All right, come on, JB. Come on.
All right, but I was right there to comfort Josh when he was crying his eyes out after we lost to Wisconsin. Just
I didn't cry. I didn't shed one
tear. You didn't cry.
You
didn't cry. You didn't shed one tear.
Nope. Not one tear. They were tears of joy because I finished college, and that was a monumental moment for me.
You still had 2 more months of school. So what are you talking about?
I was just like, looking forward to,
right.
to how much that day would mean for my family. You know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We didn't talk about this. Will Page 0_. The NBA is way different than it was in 2011. What are the main differences that you've noticed?
Back then, there was always one dude who could not shoot on the court. He was like the defensive specialist.
JB, don't say anything.
We have one of those. We have one of those.
Josh is like a marksman compared to what it was like back then. There was always that one guy that was the dog that couldn't shoot, right? That you didn't have that. We put Dirk on, you didn't have to guard. You don't really see that so much anymore. And then obviously the other big difference is just the pace of the game, the speed of the game. Guys are a lot more skilled. Guys, more guys got handles. It's just the skill level is just reached a whole nother level that you didn't see in 2011.
BBoy_Ray_0827. I don't know why I read that whole name, but I actually wholeheartedly agree with this. Why he got mad at that one dude on Shark Tank for having the Warriors logo as a product. I mean,
so there was this like deodorizer, refresh, fresh, whatever. And this is right after we lost. So we lost in May to the Warriors, right? This pitch was shot in June, like 3 weeks after we had just lost. And I'm like, dude, read the room. Why are you bringing in, right, this product? You could have picked the Mavs. And if you didn't have anything, you could at least said, look, I'm sorry. This was the only logoed product we had. I know it's the Warriors. I know it's Raw still. And then I would have been like, cool. But he's like, look, we have the Warriors logo. And I'm like, no, man, I'm out. Don't even bring that.
For that reason, I'm out.
For that reason, I was out.
You guys shoot in LA?
Yeah, we shoot in Culver City at Sony Studios.
Oh, okay. If he's a California guy, maybe. Yeah. I would have just did a whole different sport.
Yeah, exactly. You had 2 options to just either like do Dallas and like kind of like be like a kiss ass and like hope that gets you some good points, or like just go, or just go in like baseball or something. Go in a different sport.
I'm like, do you not watch the NBA? Do you not know what happened a couple of weeks ago? A lot of, because when we shoot Shark Tank, like a lot of these deals will go 30, 45 minutes an hour. and then they'll edit it down.
Mm.
And so I was a lot meaner than they showed on air. Man, I was not happy at all.
Mark, what's your best Shark Tank investment to date?
Beatbox Beverages is killing it, right? I bought.
Look behind Josh.
Beatbox, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Beatbox, baby.
Okay, sponsor, you just got it there.
Let's say both.
Their sponsor.
Oh my god! What are the odds?
That's hilarious.
What were the odds?
You like to drink it, or they're a sponsor? Okay, they're a sponsor.
Yeah,
but they're
it's not bad though. It's good.
No, they should be a sponsor, right? They're killing it, right? So I gave them $1 million for 25% or 30% of the company. And now I've been diluted some, but now they're going to do $200 million, give or take, this year.
Damn.
And profitable and killing it.
Wow.
That Dude Wipes is right up there as well. You all have seen Dude Wipes, right?
I got those in the bed. in the back.
So I gave them
the saviors.
like $250,000 for 20%. And now they're way past $50 million. They're worth way over $100 million, right? It's just both of those companies just killing it.
Nice.
To piggyback off that, what's your biggest miss?
There was this guy who had his name of the company was Breathalyzer, and it was this dude named Charles, and he comes on and actually multiple sharks invest in. The whole idea was you just breathe into this little tube, right? And it's got all the technology and AI behind it. So it'll tell you what your alcohol limit is, right? Or what you're at, right? Are you at 0.08, what you're going to blow if you get stopped? And great idea, right? And so I end up putting in $1 million when it's all said and done. Now all of a sudden I'm following him on Instagram because I just want to see, thinking he's going to post about the product. He's on this island. He's on Nectar Island. He's in the Bahamas. He's in Vegas. And I'm like, dude, when are you working? You're supposed to work. You're part of me more. You travel more than I do. And it wasn't 6 months that it was gone to hell.
He was just testing out the product.
Right? Sure.
That's hilarious. Mark, this is our last segment. It's called Picture Me Scrolling. So basically, it's tweets, funny moments of the week on social media, and we just kind of react to it. Ooh.
Yeah, how about them Cowboys? How
about CD Lamb still not getting paid?
Hey, it ain't my team, ain't my problem. I'm Steelers first, Cowboys second.
Yeah, so for the audio listeners, this is JB walking into, I'm guessing he lost a bet with Luka. So he's walking into the arena with a Dallas Cowboy jersey with number 77. And on the back of it, it says Luka's son. So,
but I'll say this year, this past season, was it this past season? Yeah. Or the year before. I don't know. Luka walked into the MSG with a Eagles jersey on that said JB son on the back. But of course, he told every social media, Mavs social media member and whoever did not take pictures or whatever. But I got a sneaky pic of him walking in with his hood up. But yeah, I'll post that eventually at some point.
You gotta get your get back.
I got to. Oh, I saw this.
Oh yeah, I saw this.
I saw this video. This is a video of Kyrie in Greece, teaching kids how to play basketball on the beach. See, this could be Josh with him rebounding. Yeah.
I'm just thinking how, obviously you got Kyrie over there doing pivots, jab steps. Just imagine me over there throwing a ball up and just going running and catching it.
You walk back to the umbrella, right? That's cool.
Yeah.
That's almost as good as KD working on his jump shot in the club.
Yeah.
Right?
That is a hooper.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
What is this? So we got. Let me zoom in on this one.
Josh, can you name? Actually, I'll.
They say, can I name all of them?
I was gonna ask you or Matt if you can name every player in this picture.
That's pretty just. I can. I don't think Matt can.
I don't think Matt can either.
Michael Finley, Dirk, Juwan
Oh,
Howard,
okay.
and
There you go. Yeah, Juwan was the hard one.
Yeah.
And yours, yeah, that was my first full year going into the start of the season, and Sports Illustrated came in and said, "We want to put you guys on the cover because you're so global. Will you take all these pictures?" And Dirk's like, "We better be on the cover because that's the only reason I'm taking these dumbass pictures." Not even close. But yeah, that was the classic photo shoot.
Wait, Matt, did you say you didn't say the last person?
yeah, who I have to zoom in. Who is I don't know who the last person is.
Oh my god.
Is he?
With the lasso, you didn't know?
No, who is it?
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god.
I feel like once you tell me, I will.
It's that bad.
I'm not gonna tell him.
It's that bad, Matt.
Hall of Fame
MVP.
twice.
Are you serious?
He really has no idea.
Are you serious?
We talked about him on the show.
Yeah.
Not Steve.
That's
It doesn't look anything like Steve Nash to me.
It looks everything like Steve
Yeah,
Nash,
bro.
you know?
We all knew
Really?
exactly.
How old was he in this picture?
He was probably 25.
Maybe I'm just thinking long hair son Steve Nash. I don't know.
Well, he's got a cowboy
That's-
hat on too.
that's sad.
It's just like, I don't know. When I think of Steve Nash, like this is the image I think of. You know?
That's
But,
that's like bringing the Warriors thing to a Shark Tank event.
Oh shit! I dropped nada. I got shut out, man. I was so pissed because little Romeo, what's his name, son, right there, put up like 40 shots in this celebrity game. Like he did not pass the ball at all. And Draymond was our coach, and he just yanked me out. I'm like, put me the fuck back in. I'm here to play, and they wouldn't even do it. Right? They would not let me play at all.
That is hilarious. This is the celebrity game in what? New Orleans? That's funny.
Yeah. I was
Wait.
not happy.
Wait, Mark, what shoes do you have on?
Nikes. Oh no, those aren't the Nikes. No, they are. I think they're Derrick Rose.
D Roses. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
okay. I respect it.
Yeah, got the D
I respect-
Roses. What?
Yeah,
Romeo
you
got
knew,
the KDs on.
you knew he pulled up in the all red with a shooting sleeve. You knew he was
Yeah.
shooting 40 times a game.
You knew you were not going to touch that ball, Mark.
Not even close.
You should have just sat down yourself.
Right, hoping my man would leave me to go double him, so they would have to throw it to me. Didn't matter. Step back, whatever. Right? It was now.
That was like Micah Parsons this year.
Yeah, for
He
sure.
shot like 37 times.
Yeah, boy.
Oh, you did Dancing with the Stars?
Oh man, the scariest thing I've ever done in my life. Literally, dancing. I don't remember what that dance was in front of 22 million people live, man. It was scary as hell. And I beat Floyd Mayweather, and I beat like other models and some other folks. I don't even remember everybody. But yeah, I beat Floyd Mayweather. That was my big accomplishment. Finished like right in the middle, but hardest thing I ever did.
Prepared you for TikTok.
What's that?
I said it prepared you for TikTok.
For sure. Yeah,
Not a lot of people can say they beat Floyd Mayweather, so I definitely,
that's right. I gave him his first live.
yeah, for sure.
Oh my God. Ha! Man, I can't even say anything about this, man. It did not go well, man. It
Wait,
did
was
not
this?
go well. But you know the song Uproar, right? Well, that's a song that Damon John and I would always sing in breaks of Shark Tank, and we would just groove to the song and everything during the breaks. And so when this happened and he was, rooting for the Suns and talking shit, I was like, okay. And he was not happy about it, which I respected because he didn't want his family shown in the tweet. And so, but we talked it out and it's all good.
That's actually
Yeah,
hilarious.
it was ugly for a minute there.
Hey, Matt, do you know who that is holding the ball?
Mikhail?
Okay. All right.
You're acting like I didn't know who, bro. The fact I
You
didn't
didn't know
Juwan
Steve
Howard was.
Nash.
I'm telling you, I looked at it. I've seen Steve Nash play a number of times. I looked at it. I was like, that didn't really look like. I knew Michael Finley and Juwan Howard though.
I have been waiting for this moment. I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
The whole nickname.
So, long story short, there was a bunch of quoted tweets or whatever, and Josh just kept saying, because his head's fat as hell, keeps him balanced, whatever. And I said, if you keep trying me, the whole world's going to know your nickname.
I don't have a nickname.
You don't have a nickname?
What was it? This was you guys' playoff series in Utah, right?
Probably.
May 22?
Yeah, May 22. Wait, JB, what size hat do you wear? I want to know if it's bigger than my head because I got a huge noggin.
But I haven't worn a fitted since I was in.
JB, you gifted. Didn't you gift me a fitted?
I got to unbutton all the buttons in the back of a hat.
I don't.
I cannot. I'm like 7 3/4, sometimes an 8. Like I have to unbutton every single button in order for it to fit.
Hold on, now I got hold on.
Mark, you remember in Entourage when Turtle said, "The bigger the star, the bigger the head," or something? It's like Vinny Chase, big head.
Yep, big head.
Anyway,
I've been touched on that since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
I never noticed that, but you know what? Now that you bring it up,
All those grades. My son is just as sweet, man.
Josh,
that's hilarious, huh?
are we going to tell the world your nickname?
I don't have a nickname, bro.
All right, if you don't want me to say it, you got to give one of your nicknames then.
One.
Yeah, you have multiple. Or say the one I'm talking about. Because I'm not gonna say it just to say it. I'm gonna say it when the time is right. Unless you want to just throw it out there.
No, I'm good. I'm cool. Did I delete this tweet?
Yep.
Or did this person? No way I deleted a tweet.
Yeah, you deleted it.
I'm too unfiltered to delete a tweet.
Because you know your nickname's bad.
Nope.
The nickname the team gave you in college.
I don't know. Wildcat. Do we have any more pics of me scrolling, or is this it? Oh man, that's it. Dang, Jalen. I would have said it, but it looks like we're finishing up the episode. So maybe on another episode we can get into that, man. But
big miss from our producer Cam not putting Michael Finley taking Luka's beer from him for us to react to.
Oh, man.
That was hilarious.
The whole thing from Finn was, dude, you're going to be on camera, right? You don't want to be holding the beer when you're doing these interviews.
That was hilarious. This is his face.
That was the best part.
He was so disappointed.
Yeah, he was he looked like a disappointed kid. That's hilarious.
Well,
but
you got it, Josh.
Yeah, but to everybody, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you guys tune in every Thursday for new episodes. Mark, we appreciate you coming on, man. This was really dope. It was cool to see the behind the scenes business side and the executive side of the NBA. So we appreciate you making time to come on the show.
Appreciate you having me. Appreciate it, Josh. JB, always give my best to Ali.
Will do. Appreciate you, Mark.
Appreciate it. Thanks, my man.